Today we're going to be looking at that new knock I made with Decap. Which planet are you from? So let's take a look, yeah? Right from the get-go, we've got this guitar intro. Playing on this bad boy right here. So I'm using Ableton stock amp and cab, rolling off some of the lows, compression, a little bit of reverb, that's about it. A little bit of octave doubling on the guitar here. And now we've got the drums broken down into these four groups here.
10, swag 10.
Now the kick is going through some crazy shit, like 2 fab filters, 2 transient masters, and a utility. I mean, there's just all kinds of things going on here.
Bounce 10, swag.
Yeah, it's a special kick. The rest of the drums are all coming out of this group right here. And there's also these strangely pitched beeps that happen every time. Now here's a couple of Decap's vocals.
Swag 10, hit, rewind, and we do it again. Bounce 10.
And kind of a big thing throughout this track is all this kind of little sound design bits, these little moments, these like, whoa, what was that? Oh. And a lot of it is kind of sound painty. So you'll hear some in the lyrics,
Again.
and there'll be a sound that's really directly based off of what happened just lyrically, like this little needle drop thing. There's this kind of cool, just ominous wow sound, which is actually just made out of a square wave with wavetable and a whole bunch of filter drive. This here is just this rustling noise. It's just like makes you think like you're just parting leaves in the jungle, like you know something crazy is about to happen. Another thing that makes this track very exciting is all these very stark, sparse, almost dead silent moments. Like right here, just listen.
May I shift your attention?
This is not.
That was like a solid 1, maybe 2 seconds of dead silence. And that creates so much tension and an absence of expectation of what's gonna happen next. So when that thing does happen next, it's like,
Flow like breath.
Yeah, here's more ad-libs and kind of answers to lyrics right here. Now the sub, here we go. The sub once again is made very, very simply. With wavetable, with kind of one of these almost sine wave waveforms.
Fresh.
Rise like heat.
Still
A little bit of filter envelope so it has a bit of vowel sound. This is a plugin I don't have, but it's a decapitator. It's very appropriate. So it's just saturating it, making it thicker. There's a water drop snare. That's cool. This is a lion's roar that just makes it feel like, And then there's this other section which is based off of the intro guitar part, which is contrastingly really cool and chill and jazzy. So I sang along with the lead guitar top line, making this nice little chanty melody. And I sang that in octaves. And that's all right here. It's 2 octaves up, 2 octaves down. And I also doubled that on bass. And then I played just an actual bass part down here. There's some compression and some EQ, nothing fancy there. So this ends up just being an interlude. And then I drop some bars.
Bounce 10, swess 10. Run it back and we do it again.
So you've seen this processing before. This is how I do my vocals pretty much every time. This type of EQ, gating, hard compression, tiny bit of de-essing. Looks like I've got just an eensy-weensy bit of ambience going on over here.
If it's not, keep your job part-time.
And once again, throughout this verse, there's just more of this continuous sound design. Here's a reversing of the clap that just happened.
Clap if you see an ultraviolet.
This is just literally a cat purr. That's just like a rustling noise. This is just like a dubstep noise. Oh, and this is a really nice moment, this cash register. And then we got the final section here, which once again is based off those intro chords. So these vocals have similar processing, maybe a bit more low end since it's sung as opposed to rap, so it can have more body, it doesn't need to be as articulate. And I also added a choir pad just to make it more rich and more beautiful, basically. So this is 2 voices per part, 4 parts, so 8 voices total. With this interesting EQ here that just gives it a lot of clarity, heavy ambience to make it very roomy. Now I chose to double out the octave, very heavily auto-tuned version of the lead. Just to kind of add to this alien thing. And it's a very overdriven thick sound too. It's cool. And lastly, this big thick synth pad is added as well. This is kind of the type of pad I like to use a lot. It's very spread, it's very noisy. It looks like it's mostly saw wave with a bit of a square wave quality blended in there. It's just very wide and big and beautiful and bright. And I also layered the sub almost 1 octave down from the electric bass just to make it very thick and full at the end. And then the outro just kind of fades away into nothing with this guitar part gradually being more and more low passed. Boom, right there. And that's really the whole joint in a nutshell. Yeah, me and Decap went super in on this. There's a lot of love in this. A lot of attention to sound design, a lot of attention to quality, a lot of attention to emotion, intensity. This track is about what it means to be different in a world where normalization is not only accepted, but encouraged. Be different. What makes you different is what makes you special. Share that thing that makes you special. Ask people, which planet are they from? Invite them to yours. So much love for watching. Stay swess, y'all.
Which planet are you from?